This is a special presentation for the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino on the Believe Podcast Network.
What is going on, you guys? Rick Ucchino here for SB Nation and the Believe Podcast Network. And you know my guest at this time, one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Chelsea Green. Thank you so much. I've been at this for 5 years. This is the first time we've actually gotten to converse with one another. I'm really excited you're on the channel today.
Rick, your voice is amazing. Very happy to be here, but I think you forgot future Hall of Famer and two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion.
They need to get that updated on the website, though, because they got you listed as one on the website. They got to fix that. That's an issue.
I really think that that's Adam Pearce's fault.
Sure.
WWE management is not on top of it when it comes to Chelsea Green, but that's okay. They'll learn to be.
Yes, everything is officially, Adam Pearce's fault at all times. That's just how it goes.
Absolutely.
I'd like to start this off, though, by saying thank you to you, if I can, for just a brief moment, because there have been a number of professional wrestlers in my life who have provided me with, some inspiration over the years, dating back to when I was like tiny wrestling fan. I'm talking, Becky Lynch, Bray Wyatt, Edge. They've all had some kind of an impact on my life. I would not be here talking to you right now if it wasn't for them, all of them collectively. And honestly, there are some things that have started to go right in my life, at least gotten the ball rolling because of you. And I want to say thank you for that, because I am somebody who, even asking for like the little things, like the tiniest little things, I feel like I'm being a bother. Like, you could park your car on my foot and I'm pretty sure I'd be like, hey, could you maybe move that, please? But something you have hammered in a number of interviews so far that you've done this summer has just been not being afraid to ask for the things that we want in life. And that was something I really needed to read and hear and browbeat over my head this summer. And so I started asking for some things, and some things are starting to roll a little bit. So
Rick, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God. And you're welcome for being your inspiration. You are welcome. I'm sure so many people feel the same way as you. They're just not able to communicate it to me.
Sure.
But that's the thing, that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You don't ask what you don't get for. Wait, that's not right. You don't get
what you don't ask for.
That's the right one. There it is, Nick. That's why we're doing this today.
But yeah, and that's part of the thing about doing these interviews and why they're so important. Yeah, they get you over, right? And people get to know you a little bit better. And that's why I love doing these, and I love getting to know you as well. But, there are so many people out there who hear the stories of yourself or Becky Lynch or anybody else, and they do draw inspiration from that. Now, I mean, how does that feel for you?
Honestly, great. I think that when you come to WWE, the WWE universe doesn't always know the struggle it took to get there. Do you know what I mean? Like, they see you come, they see you debut at the Royal Rumble, they see you set a record, they see you win the championship 2 times. But what they don't see is the 10 years that I put in prior to this. What they don't see is the blood, sweat, and tears, the amount of times that, I've taken these insane bumps, or I've had these crazy matches, or whatever it is. I mean, I've literally done everything you can do as a female wrestler up until you get to WWE. And so for me, I'm, people may think it's annoying that I ask for everything, but guess what? That's why I'm here. For 10 years, I have not been afraid to ask for something. And I don't always get what I ask for, but I still ask for it.
Yeah, and at least there's like the, okay, you asked, they said no. And there's never like the wondering or anything of that nature. So it's very freeing after you've done it. Like, I don't know why it's taken me so long in my life to do, but there's just like these mental blocks that people have. My mind's messed up.
You don't have to call people anymore. It's not 1990. You can text them and ask. You can email them and ask. You can send them a Hedwig the Owl and ask. You don't have to call them. It's not that scary to ask for something. All they can do is say no.
Hedwig the Owl. That's such a millennial reference, and I love it so much. Chelsea, it's been such an insanely crazy year for yourself, for WWE, dating back to last SummerSlam in Nashville in 2022. And it's been a whirlwind since then. And especially since you came back in January and all the talks of company being sold and a merger and this, that, and the other thing. And it has been made official this week, made headlines everywhere. WWE, UFC, merging under Endeavor, opening up Wall Street on Tuesday this week. I know a lot of, wrestlers try to focus on themselves and what they can control and just kind of ride the wave wherever it is necessary. But what has it been like, for you? What's the vibe been like this year as the company now is moving into these uncharted waters and this uncharted territory now?
I think if I'm being honest, I feel like uncharted territory is like where I thrive. I have been released. I have been fired. I have been not hired. I have been rehired. I have gone through all these things in one way or another. And it might not be the sale of a company, but it's COVID, it's a pandemic,
Sure.
it's not being hired after Tough Enough when all of the Tough Enough cast was hired. Like all these things I've been through have set me up for just facing uncertainty or adversity or whatever it is. I also believe in whatever is meant to be will be. And so it took me a long time to get there, but I am there and whatever happens, happens. And like you said, you can only control certain things. You can control your gear and the way that you look, and you can control your mindset.
Yeah.
That's it. And your mindset is everything from how hard you work, how much attention you give to certain things, whatever it is, just having a positive outlook. I just go to work, I do my work, and I leave. And when I am off the clock, I have the best, even if it's 24 hours, the best 24 hours. If I have the best weekend, the best week, whatever it is, I spend my time. If you follow me on social media, you see I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights. I'm going to Disney. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Lake Tahoe. I'm visiting my friends and family. I am I am doing this so differently than I would have done if WWE hired me in 2015. I am not going to stress about the little things or the big things. I'm just letting it happen.
What was the moment that kind of clicked for you that allowed you to have this new mindset?
The pandemic. I mean, the pandemic changed everything. And I don't think there's a person in this world that can say that the pandemic did not change them in one way or another.
Yeah.
Watching people face what they faced, losing my job, reinventing myself, and not only doing it like just myself, but my entire household did that. Like my husband had to do that too. We
Mhm.
were faced with things that we never thought that we would be faced with and that we definitely didn't think we were going to face together. And so to be able to be released and continue to pursue my dream, continue to support my lifestyle was really eye-opening. Okay, I can do this. And then, I did it and then I decided I want to go back to WWE and I did. It doesn't always work out that way, but it worked out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, and again, just craziness, and the if you want to talk about craziness, the embodiment of it, it's sitting there on your shoulder right now in the women's tag team championship. Which, look, anybody watching this right now probably knows the up and down history, especially recently of those titles. It was a long road for you just to win that championship, and the same for Sonya Deville, who is somebody that I admire and I'm such a big fan of. And of course, the first match you guys have as champions, Sonya unfortunately suffers that injury. It had to be incredibly heartbreaking, not only for her, but for you as well. It was for me. Like when I saw TMZ report it, I literally plopped down on my couch and went, pardon my French, are you fucking kidding me? Like that, like, are you kidding me? That was a verbatim what came out of my mouth. I mean, you had to feel for it in that moment. You had to.
I think that actually came out of both Sonia and I's mouths as well. And, we have such a history together being from coming up through Tough Enough and I've supported her along the way. I've been watching her do all these amazing things, but not be able to actually grasp a championship. And so for her to finally win her first championship in 8 years, for me to come back and after all these years of putting in work on the independent scene and in other companies, I was able to do this, to win this with her, alongside her. It was such a full circle moment. And then for that to happen, it's like, God, why? Like, why? But on the same hand, whatever is meant to be will be. And I am counting down the months until Sonya can come back and show the world how strong she is, because we have seen her be strong in so many different areas of
Yeah.
wrestling and outside of wrestling. We've seen her go through a lot. We've never seen her face an injury and come back. And I really think she's going to come back even better. Now, don't tell Piper I said any of this, because Piper and I we like to pretend that that side of me doesn't exist. So it's just, if we want to move on to Piper, we can.
Don't worry. I won't tag her on Twitter or anything like that. But yes, no problem. I will get to Piper. I do want to ask about her in a moment, but I was curious though, because one of the next things that I thought about was, okay, if anybody can survive something like this happening, Chelsea Green is on it. How quickly was your mind working and just started going, okay, how am I now going to make this work? Because the last thing I think anybody wanted was for the titles to be taken away and to be put up in a tournament or something like that. And very quickly, you were hopping on social media and starting this campaign that garnered a lot of attention.
Rick, I did not give them the opportunity to take my favorite accessory away from me. They were not going to take this away. And if they even tried, I promise you, I would have been kicking and screaming. They would have had to drag the belt away from me while I held on to it. That's what would have happened. I promise you that no, that wasn't even an option. I came up with Chelsea's Got Talent 24 hours after I knew Sonya was injured. I went to sleep that night. I said, it's going to be okay. She's going to be fine. It's just a little knee thing. And then when we found out it was not just a little knee thing,
Yeah.
and she needed surgery and it was her ACL, that is basically when the wheels got to turning. And that's just who I am. I cannot just sit still. I need to be doing something. And I knew that this was an opportunity for me to show not only the world, but to show my boss what I could do, and the attention I could bring to WWE. And it doesn't matter whether I have a partner or not, honey. I am the tag champion, and now I'm a two-time tag champion because of it.
Now, it was a brilliant idea. Were you surprised though how much of a response and a positive response and how quickly people were sending you in those videos? And was it close to really kind of progressing on TV at all? Because like I was really happy that Piper came back as quickly as she did and basically, slapped a fistful of quarters down on the pool table and said, I got next, and, took the belt off your shoulder. But I kind of wanted to see the whole audition thing play out for a little bit longer as well.
Well, so did I. First of all, I was very happy it took off on social media, because here's the thing about this generation is you don't know. You just have to throw against a wall and see what sticks. And so for me, that was not my only idea. I had a list of about 5 or 6 ideas, as I do for my pitches, as I do for everything. And when I threw it against the wall and it stuck immediately, I'm like, oh my, okay, here we go. I don't know that that was ever going to be on TV. That was just me. It was just me doing it. I never asked for permission. I just did it, because what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen has already happened to me. So I'm just going to do it. And, I did it on, I believe, the Tuesday after Raw. And so I had that entire week to just milk it. And the more that came in, the more that applied. That was the best part of it. And it was so cool to see kind of people from all over applying. Like, we had R-Truth, but we also had reality TV stars. We also had kids, and we had people from NXT. And that's what I love about WWE. It's so inclusive. Everyone feels that they have a little bit of something in WWE, a little investment in WWE, whether it's in a character, whether it's in, whatever it is, people feel like they could be here and be a part of this. And so I had so much fun watching those submissions come in. I wish it went on a little longer, but Piper's here now, so
Time to get cooking is what it's time to get with you guys, because Fastlane is just around the corner, not far from where I'm at right now, 90 minutes away from Cincinnati and Indianapolis. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. You and Piper seem like you're ready to go now that she's back. We saw her on Raw this past week, and we've seen this new alliance now with Shayna and Zoe. But there's a number of other tag teams that I'm sitting here going, can we get them on TV, please? Whether it's Isla and Alba, whether it's Caden and Katana, whether it's Candice and Indy, and so many others. Throw Damage Control in there as well. But I know, Io's cooking right now as the WWE Women's Champion, and good for her. But man, I would love to see these tag team titles on that pay-per-view and really start to breathe some life back in this division now.
well, here's the thing. Now we're gonna get the ball rolling. We had a momentary little pause. And Piper's back, and I think that these titles could travel around to all the brands. We said that from
Yeah.
the beginning, but we haven't seen that. So I think that that's the next step with the tag team championships is let's go to NXT. Who's the tag team that we want to defend these titles against in NXT? Let's go to SmackDown. Who's the team there that we can beat? We've seen time and time again us take on Katana and the other one, honestly, Caden and Katana.
Caden, yeah. Caden
You know
Carter, yeah.
what I mean? Like, look, they've had their time. Let's move on to the witchy girls. Let's move on to the purple hair little girl and Indy, impressive Indy. Let's move on to the NXT girls. We've got a team I've got my eyes on there that Twitter has been blowing me up about. Let's do a world tour with these tag team championships. That's what they deserve. They deserve to go around the world. They deserve to be on pay-per-views. They deserve to be defended.
Yeah, I mean, and more we're seeing main roster superstars show up in NXT and contribute to that brand, which is cooking right now. Well, just this week, Becky Lynch won the NXT Women's Championship for the first time in her career. So,
And Rick, you better believe I already sent a text message to NXT to tell them we're here.
Chelsea, this has been a blast. Thank you so much, and thank you for dealing with all my technical difficulties. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick.